Mountain View faces a 3rd and 10 situation as we're back here at Ray-Patterson Stadium for homecoming week for Mountain View. 3rd and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Start of the second quarter, Bakel in the shotgun, gets the ball, fakes the screen pass, has a man open down the field. And he makes the catch. That's number 4, drops in, and he's got it to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown, an 80-yard pass play on a 3rd and 10. Bakel to Sandin.
They take that little screen that they ran 2 times already, and the Morgan defender bid on it, came up, and it got behind him.
So just like that, after Fort Morgan puts together an impressive drive, Mountain View answers quickly. McQueen into pit to kick the PAT. He'll have Bakel on the hole. There's the snap. The ball is down, and the kick is true. It's all tied up here, 7-7, 11:49 in the second quarter. We'll take a break. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan Football brought to you by Tio Charlie's. See Tio Charlie's for a great used car or truck today. If you don't see what you want on the lot, they will find it for you at 700 West Platte in Fort Morgan. We're back at Ray-Patterson Stadium here in Loveland, Colorado, 11:49 on the clock in the second quarter. It's all knotted up, 7-7.
Fort Morgan had a really nice drive, and Mountain View answered.
Really tough to come off of a drive like that, where you move the ball effectively on the ground for Fort Morgan, and to see it all done away in one play on a 3rd and 10 pass play, an 80-yard touchdown. Bakel to Sandin. McLean kicks the ball off, and this one will send into the end zone, and that will be a touchback. So far, we haven't seen any kickoff returns, as both kickers have been able to force the other team into a touchback.
Maybe it's the altitude up here.
A beautiful night. The air is definitely not heavy, as there's very few clouds in the sky, and if they are, they're very high level and thin. Spot the ball at the 20-yard line of Fort Morgan. It'll be 1st and 10. Fort Morgan using that same formation, a tight end to the right and a man split wide to the right for Martins, 1 to the left, 2 in the backfield. Martins turns, fakes the handoff up the middle. Was so good that time he faked out the PA announcer here at Patterson Stadium.
Some good tough running. He was wrapped up about 2 yards into it and carried the tackler for another 3.
That is a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. The sun's starting to set now as the lights are really taking over. Again, the same package for Fort Morgan. Martins goes under center. Long snap count. He receives the ball, turns, fakes it to Godo, pitches out to Fitzsimmons, where he's met behind the line of scrimmage. So the 5 yards that Martins got in the previous play done away there, as it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Mountain View read that play good. I think if they don't start passing, Mountain View's just going to key on the run, and that's going to make it harder and harder for that running game to continue.
Very difficult if you're only one-dimensional. And right now, Fort Morgan really only one-dimensional as they've been moving the ball on the ground, but that's all they've been doing. We see a bigger wide receiver set, 4 wide receivers, and wouldn't you know, they turn and hand the ball to Godo on the 3rd down play. He gains 8, but that's not going to be enough for the 1st down.
Brings up the 4th down. On your own 28, you're going to have to punt.
So Zwedzig will come in for Fort Morgan to punt the ball away. Mountain View has 2 men deep at their own 45-yard line. Zwedzig receives the snap, gets off a great punt, where it's fielded at the 40-yard line by Mountain View. A good block there, but only able to scramble 5 yards after he catches it is the Mountain View return man.
That was a nice 40-yard punt by Zwedzig. a little more comfortable back there now as the snaps are coming to him instead of over his head.
Credit Justin Dennis with the return there of 5 yards. It's 1st and 10 for Mountain View at their own 45-yard line. Good field position starting out here for Mountain View on this, their 3rd drive of the game.
Gut check for the Morgan defense.
A little bit of a delay here as the officials all get set. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Bakel in the shotgun. He motions a man. Turns and hands the ball to Stark, who goes up the middle, drops the football. I'm not sure Morgan recognized it. And Mountain View does come away with the football. It'll be 2nd and 9.
You lucked out there. Fort Morgan would love to have the ball on Mountain View's side of the field.
Great job that time by Mountain View's offensive line, recognizing the ball on the ground and being the first to jump on top of it. Mountain View will flip the field this time as they have 2 men spread wide to the left. The man to the left of Bakel is in the shotgun, turns and hands it to that man who is Stark, who gets hit as he advances. But he's able to gain some more yards after the initial contact. It'll be a 3rd down and 2.
That was a nice run off the right side.
Mountain View did cross into Fort Morgan territory on that run. They're looking for the 45-yard line of Morgan territory. Spot the ball at the 46. And Bakel will turn and call a timeout as he didn't like what he saw from his offense and the defense that Fort Morgan had on the field. We'll step aside as well. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106, brought to you by Platte Valley Hearing Center, 417 Main Street in Fort Morgan, getting your hearing to its very best. 7-7 the score here at Ray Patterson Stadium. 8:23 left in the second quarter. Mountain View has the ball, 3rd and 1, looking for the 45-yard line. Bakel takes a snap, turns, hands it to Stark, who comes off the right side, and he will have just enough for the first down. He gained the edge and was able to fall forward for that first down.
Now we see that they're returning maybe to the game they had last week. Run, and then complement it with a pass.
Bakel only had 12 pass attempts last week against Thompson Valley. He was good on 6 of them, but he had 2 interceptions as well. Spot the ball at the 45-yard line of Mustang territory on the near hash. Bakel again in the shotgun, a man to his left, 2 men spread wide to his left. He'll bring a man in motion now. Turns, hands the ball to Stark, who goes off the right side of the line, and he'll gain 7. It'll be a 2nd and 3.
They like that right side of the line.
Right now, Mountain View really picking on Jose Zavala and Brandon Hoffman of the defensive line for Fort Morgan. Check that. They're running right at Cole Frisbee and TJ Schneider. Frisbee had 13 tackles last week. Bakel gets a snap in the shotgun. He'll turn and hand the ball to a reverse. McQueen with the ball that time, and he picks up the first down. Curtis Strobel with the tackle for Fort Morgan, but that's still a first down for Mountain View, and they're moving the football now.
It's an old strategy, run with a certain play several times, and then counter off to the other side after you fake that.
Ball will be placed at the 33-yard line. 2 men flex wide right for Bakel in the shotgun. Stark to his right as well. He'll turn, gives the ball to Stark. No, he keeps it himself, looking for a man downfield, but he's got nothing. And he'll be brought down for a loss of 2. They'll give Brandon Hoffman credit on that sack.
Coverage downfield was good. He had nowhere to throw the ball.
So really one of those sacks that you can attribute to your defensive backs, as Bakel had nowhere to throw the ball down the field. It'll be a 2nd and 12. Bakel again in the shotgun, 3 men to his left, and Stark in the backfield to his left as well. Turns, fake the ball to Stark, keeps it himself, goes up the middle of the line. They'll gain maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. And this will be a 3rd and call it 9. Schneider credited with the stop.
That was some good running. He actually never made it to the ground. They just stopped his forward progress and the whistle was blown.
If you're Mountain View here, it's probably 2-down territory as you're too far to really kick a field goal, but still too close to the end zone to really punt the ball away. So probably see 2 plays here if they don't get the first down on this play. Binkle again in the shotgun. A little bit of movement up front for Fort Morgan. No flag though. Binkle rolls left, finds his man down the field. Again, one of his favorite targets, Josh Sandin. And that's going to be good for a first down. Put the ball at the 20-yard line of Fort Morgan.
I guess we will find out whether it was 4-down territory.
I guess we will not, as they were able to get the first down there on a pass play of 12 yards. Binkle breaks the huddle. 3 men wide to the right, including Stark and Sandin. No men in the backfield for Binkle, who receives the shotgun snap, turns, throws the ball to a screen where he's got a lot of room and he's going just barely tripped up there. Tyler Kretz with the reception and the run after Armando Lopez getting credit for that tackle. We'll have an official's timeout as they check to see if this is good enough for the first down. The ball spotted right on the 10-yard line of Morgan territory. Looks like they will call in the chain game. While we have this break here, we'll tell you about Fort Morgan football, brought to you by Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush. Chain gang puts the chains down and completely blocked by the officials, signaling for a second down. So 2nd and inches, as back-to-back pass plays have been very good for Mountain View. Well, this must be very close. A ball spotted just shy of the paint of the 10-yard line, that paint about 2 inches thick, and that must be all that Mountain View needs to get the first down.
Be interesting to see if they go with a run to get the first down or take advantage of 2nd and extremely short to try and get one in the end zone.
Well, they will line up in the shotgun, but as we've seen, this is the only formation they've been in thus far in the game. Starks to Binkle's right. 2 men out there as well, including Sandin. Binkle turns, hands the ball to Stark. No, keeps it himself, dives forward. He's got enough for the first down, and he's down to the 5-yard line. That'll bring up a 1st and goal.
They seem like they are maybe reading the defense, fakes the handoff to Stark, and if the play's not there, he pulls it out and runs the other way.
4:30 and counting on the clock, 7-7 here in the second quarter at Ray Patterson Stadium. Mountain View threatening. Mountain View spreads out. Tyler Kretz way out to the left. Sandin wide to the right. Stark in the backfield with Binkle, who gets the football from Binkle in the shotgun snap. He's got the edge if he can get there, and he's in.
There's a nice open field block out there by his wide receiver. Allowed him to get in and score.
So Stark gets the 5-yard touchdown run. That's his 5th on the year. McQueen on to kick the PAT. Binkle with the hold, snaps down, and the kick is up. I tell you what, McQueen's got a leg on him. And it is true. 14-7 now, with 4:07 showing on the clock in the second quarter. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. 14-7 here, Mountain View over Fort Morgan at the moment. 4:07 on the clock in the second quarter. We're at Ray Patterson Stadium. Mountain View coming off a 5-yard touchdown run by Tanner Stark, his 5th on the year. McQueen tees the ball up and will approach as he's kicking to Pineda and Alexander. Alexander tiptoeing the line. In high school football, if the ball goes into the end zone at any point, it's an automatic touchdown. Alexander really trying to tiptoe the line for Fort Morgan, but he wasn't able to haul in the ball. The ball lands in the end zone, and Fort Morgan will start this drive at their own 20-yard line.
I think that's a coaching point that if you're going to catch it on the half-inch line, it's better off letting it go into the end zone.
With the way that he was running laterally, I don't think it would have fared for a good return there on Fort Morgan. Martins comes in. He's got 4 wide. Godo in the backfield. Now send Fitzsimmons in motion from left to right. Turns, fakes the screen, hands the ball to Godo with no room to run. He'll gain about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The Mountain Lions of Mountain View seem to be keying on Godo at this point of the game.
Second and 9 for Mountain View. Check that for Fort Morgan as they again spread 4 wide. Godo in the backfield, the lone man for Martins, who's under center. Martins gets the ball. He's looking to pass. Looking right. Throws the ball. Has a man there, but the ball is thrown out of bounds. Jared Bohm, the intended receiver. Check that, Pineda.
Looked like Pineda maybe cut the pattern short a little bit, but it probably would have been out of bounds anyway.
Yeah, Martin's really not a good ball there as he was hoping for the sideline to make sure the clock stops. There's only 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the half. But it'll be 3rd and 9.
Nice work to get something on the board now.
Really get themselves situated into a good place going into the locker room. Martins again under center, 4 wide, 2 to each side. Martins rolls to his left now, under pressure, moves to his right. He's a stiff arm there, but then he's immediately wrangled down. A sack there. Ian Anderson credited with the sack. His 2nd on the year, as he had one last week. And that'll bring Zwetzig in to punt.
As much as the score would be nice, turning it around and letting Mountain View score one more time before half might be deadly.
Zwetzig receives the snap, a good one this time. He sends a wobbly kick to the 50-yard line, where McQueen receives it from Mountain View. He's got a lot of room to the right side. He's down the sideline, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 23-yard line of Fort Morgan territory. So just like you said, Kevin, giving Mountain View a little bit of life here to really put their foot on the pedal as we head into halftime.
That was a really nice return up the right-hand side. They sealed everybody off.
So McQueen doing a little bit of everything as he's kicking the ball, punting the ball, and receiving those punts.
I'm not sure in high school whether you can say that he outkicked his coverage, but it certainly gave the returner a chance to run.
Backel flexes 3 men to his left. He's in the shotgun. He'll receive the snap, look to throw the ball, but he keeps it himself, and he's got enough room right at the 6. He'll be just shy. It'll be 2nd and 1. So after Mustangs have a pretty good showing on the first drive of Mountain View where they tried to throw the football, they're finding out that they can run it a little bit more. It is Mountain View against this Mustang defense. Bickel again in the shotgun. Stark to his left. Now we have a whistle. And we'll see what this is. I believe Fort Morgan taking the timeout. No? Fort Morgan does take the timeout. This timeout is brought to you by Edwards, Right Price Market, and Flowerland, located at 1201 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Stop by and get what you need to refuel on game days. Minute 59 showing on the clock here and remaining in the first half. Mountain View up 14-7 over Fort Morgan. In It's homecoming weekend here for Mountain View. The stadium is decorated in black and purple ribbon. A fairly decent crowd here on the Mountain View side. Pretty scattered on the Fort Morgan side there. It's a bit of a drive from Fort Morgan here to Loveland.
Definitely one of the farthest away games of the season.
Both teams will come out of their respective huddles. Bickle again in the shotgun. Looking at a 2nd and 2 here. Turns a reverse as Stark initially had the football and he hands it off to Brady Stark. The other Stark spelled differently. But he scampers into the end zone, and Mountain View starting to take control of this game before halftime.
Just what Coach Chisholm didn't want to have happen after that good start on that first drive. They'll have to work it out at half, come back second half.
So a 12-yard run for the touchdown. McQueen on to kick the PAT. Bickle gets it, holds. McQueen puts it through, and Mountain View is up 21-7 with 1:53 left in the first half.
Yeah, I think Fort Morgan is definitely reeling, and we'll see how well they can come back from this. 21 unanswered points by Mountain View. It's almost completely dark now. About all we can see is the field and the twinkling lights of Loveland in the distance.
Not much to look at to the north here, as we're on the south side of the stadium in the press box area. Still a pleasant evening in terms of temperature.
Absolutely. Perfect weather to play football. Players aren't going to get too hot. Don't have to worry about the weather affecting their game.
So we'll see if Fort Morgan can put together something with the 1:53. We'll see a 2-minute offense out of Morgan when they receive the football. McQueen back. He has it teed up, and it is away. A low line drive kick fielded there by Bohm for Fort Morgan. He's at the 30-35. He's got a little bit of running room. Tries to run over a man, but he gets it to the 40-yard line of his own territory. So decent starting field position for Fort Morgan on this.
And our first kickoff return of the game. First one that wasn't kicked out of the end zone.
I think that was by design there, as McQueen has enough leg to get it into the end zone every time, but really wanting to make Morgan, put the pressure on Morgan as they want to see a return.
Morgan's number one goal here is to get some more points on the board, but number two is to not leave any time for Mountain View.
Probably going to see a lot of pass plays out of Martins as he has one man flex each way, 2 men in the backfield. He's under center. Martins receives the snap, looking to pass. He's looking right. Looking right, no, he takes it himself, and he will be swarmed under right at the line of scrimmage. Not exactly what he wanted to do as the clock keeps turning, 1:33 and counting. Taking a while for everybody to get situated. Now I think Martins might have, no, it just his helmet came off. Thought he might have a equipment situation.
And now maybe we're going
to see an official's timeout, because there was a bit of an equipment issue for Martins after that run.
I think he was maybe had a little bit of happy feet in the backfield there. He wasn't getting a great deal of pressure, but possibly they were short patterns, and when they didn't develop, he had to turn and run.
Well, he's really looking to get somebody out to the sideline. Mountain View doing a good job of making sure that their defensive backs are all over the wide receivers of Morgan. 1:10 now and counting, remaining here in the first half. The ball at the 40-yard line of Fort Morgan territory. Martins again under center. Receives the snap, looking to pass. He'll hurl the ball downfield. His intended target, Frick, but he's not able to come up with it. That does stop the clock with 53 seconds showing on it, but it's a 3rd and 10.
Mountain View rushing 5 that time and keeping 6 back in coverage with only 2 Morgan receivers going out. A little more pressure on Martins that play.
You can tell that Fort Morgan is expecting the pass rushes. They're leaving their 2 running backs that are behind Martins in to block for the pass attempt. That's Godo and Fitzsimmons in the back. Again, 2 spread, 1 man each direction for Martins. He'll get the snap. Again, he's looking to pass. Has a man open down the field. That was Frick again. No, check that. That was Aaron Anderson, the other tight end.
The defender timed that hit perfectly, hit him right as the ball got there. Anderson looking, maybe thinking that it was a little early.
And it'll bring up a 4th and 10, and Zwetzig will come on to punt for Fort Morgan. So nothing doing there after they are given the good field position. Zwetzig will receive the snap. He will kick this ball, very good kick, where it's fielded at the 22-yard line by Mountain View. A return of 10 as Justin Dennis on the return there. 38 seconds showing on the timepiece. As Mountain View will look to put together another drive here right at the end of the half. We might see another big pass play.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a shot or two down the field, and then if those don't work, maybe run out the clock.
Really nothing to lose here based on where the ball is if you're taking a shot down the field. Bakel again in the shotgun. Stark to his left. One-man spread each direction. Bakel receives a snap, turns, hands it to Stark, who comes off the right side, and he is met there by Jose Miranda. He'll gain 6, and it'll be a 2nd and 4.
Looks like maybe they are playing a little conservative and happy to go in up by 14. They have all the momentum. Why risk that at this point?
2nd and 4 play. Bakel again hands the ball off to Stark, who goes left this time. He's got a lot of room out there as he's across the 50, now across the 45. There's a flag down. He's eventually brought down at the 42-yard line of Fort Morgan territory. We'll check what the flag is about.
That was a nice run. He had 2 or 3 blockers right in front of him, and the last Morgan defender did a good job of wrapping him up.
And that will run out the clock as there was a holding call on the play, but Fort Morgan elected to decline and just run out the clock. So as the first half comes to a close, 21-7, Mountain View over Fort Morgan. You're listening to Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com.